The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
What you have to do is you have to establish the criteria that would qualify for proceedings against the president. And that's called impeachment. But that, you know, that's not something you take lightly, and you have to use a historical precedent of what that means. You know, I think there's some intended violation of law in this administration, but I also think there's a ton of incompetence of people who are making decisions. You know, in Homeland Security, 15 of the 17 top spots right now are empty. And I would just tell you, a general portion of the nominees are absolutely incompetent.
Even if they're incompetent, I mean, the IRS forces me to abide by the law.
Yeah.
Whether I'm incompetent.
Yeah. No, I agree. And so my little wiggle out of that when I get that written to me is, I believe that needs to be evaluated and determined, but thank goodness it doesn't happen to happen in the Senate until they brought charges in the House. So I think those are serious things, but we're at a serious time. And so whether, I don't have the legal background to know if that rises to high crimes and misdemeanors, but I think they're getting perilously close as terms of, I can just, let me share with you. You know, I had USCIS employees. These are the people that do the background investigation on immigration. Told me personally, managers, that Homeland Security told them, don't worry about it, ignore all the background approved people. I mean, this is the management telling the career employees to do something against the law. So, you know, I'm documenting all this stuff as it goes along, but I don't know where that level is. I'm kind of like the lady in the back. I am fed up. I am frustrated. And you know, I am happy to raise an issue at every point. Barack Obama is a personal friend of mine. He became my friend in the Senate. But that does not mean I agree in any way with what he's doing or how he's doing it. And I, quite frankly, think he's in a difficult position he's put himself in. And if it continues, I think we're going to have another constitutional crisis in our country in terms of the presidency. Oh, sure. It's not just his failure to, look, I'll make this point. The rule of law is the one thing that this country has better than anything else. The rest of the world looks at us and says, that's the glue that holds them together. Because no matter whether you're poor, a minority, rich, insider, outsider, you have this gentleman in the back who will defend you and make sure that your side of the story gets told. And when you have an administration that undermines the rule of law, here's what happens. The next time I'm at a decision point on the rule of law, I say, well, gosh, if the administration doesn't have to follow the law, and the president doesn't follow the law, and my senator doesn't follow the law, why should I? And all of a sudden you have a declining, crumbling republic. And what we really need is enhanced fidelity to the rule of law rather than the opposite of what we see in this administration.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.